what is grow. And today we have with us Miss Sandhya Pide. She is the first and only certified facilitator in what is called the Leadership Challenge. And for all of us to understand, I think I would rather let Sandhya brief us as to what Leadership Challenge is, how she got herself certified, and what is so exciting and challenging in how do we grow with grow. Over to you, Sandhya.
Thank you so much, Venkat sir. Couldn't have had a better and energetic start to this wonderful program where I get the opportunity to reach out and the opportunity to spread my fragrance. Namaste and welcome to the webinar. My name is Sandhya Pide and I am the country's first and only certified facilitator in a program called the Leadership Challenge. In today's webinar, I have about 135 slides to take you through. No, I was joking. No slides here. Dosto mein kya slides? I'm just here to narrate my experience, probably get you curious, hopefully get you inspired to start your own leadership journey. Yes, my dear friend, you heard it right. You heard me right. It's all about your own leadership journey. I've had a corporate career of about 20 years where I have mastered customer service and marketing. But I found myself not fulfilled even after acing those careers. And I started to find true meaning for myself. And it all happened one day. I had not even hit my 30s when I walked into office on a Guru Purnima day, which is a very, for us trainers, we all know that Guru Purnima is such an auspicious day for all of us. Probably it holds much higher and significant meaning than a teacher's day. And I walk into office and I have the staff of mine, all 40, 45 of them, different age groups. They are just coming and falling at my feet. And they are saying that, we want to respect the Guru in you because you facilitate so well. You help us understand and you motivate us. You understand our struggles. You understand our challenges and you make it easy for us. Believe you me, friends, that moment was when it was like a chatka laga moment for me, because I suddenly realized that, oh, if I am much better in facilitating and helping people learn, what am I doing in marketing and customer service? My quest started since then. And I was wanting to be the best in whatever I was doing. So I waited. I didn't just pick up anything that came my way. 2014, a very dear friend of mine invited me for a 3-day train the trainer program on leadership. He had just returned from Harvard and he said that, Sandhya, I have discovered a great program and you fit into that program philosophy so well. So come over. I was a little weary. I said, leadership program, what could it be? I was not very sure. But then honoring a friend's word and honoring a friend's thoughts for you is very important for me. So I said, okay, I'll come. He sent me an email, and in the email was a pre-workshop document. So I had to fill that up, and the instructions were to come ready to the workshop, having filled that document and prepared that document together. And 1 week before the session, I received a book by courier. The book is always with me. It's as if I'm stitched. The book is stitched to me. This is the book, the Leadership Challenge book. And we were asked to read at least one page, not even one chapter. Read any page, random page also would do. Read one page and come for the workshop. These two activities, writing down that pre-work and reading a page, a couple of pages, of course, it was so interesting. I couldn't stop at one page. Read a couple of pages of the book and I realized that this is something different. And when I went to the workshop, the Sandhya who entered the workshop and the Sandhya who came out of the workshop after 3 days, totally different. For the first time, I felt that joy. I felt being alive because I caught on to the philosophy of the program like fish takes to water. And that was the next phase of my life. Since 2014 until 2019, I literally put myself, everything, I poured myself 100% into learning this program and learning it from the masters themselves. That is Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner. They both are the authors of the program, and they have a certified master in Sridhar Sampath, who operates from Dubai. He has a training company in Dubai called Motivaluate Consulting, and he is my direct mentor, my guru, and Jim and Barry are our mentors. So the four of us, I with the receiving bowl, and the three of them in a giving mode, we made a fantastic four. And it took me 4 years to really polish myself. And out of these 4 years, 2 years were when I was under observation by these three gurus on how well I am absorbing this philosophy in my daily life, how I am making use of the learnings to push my comfort zone. As trainers and as learners, we all know the importance of pushing our comfort zones. We may be at whatever level of achievement and success that we are, but we still have to continuously reassess our comfort zones and start pushing them. When this happened, yes, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. 2019, I chose to work with, there is a toned down version of the same program for students, which is the Student Leadership Challenge program. And I took teenagers under my wing. From then till now, I have 200 teenagers being coached by me under the Student Leadership Challenge program. And just about 6 weeks ago, I launched a program with women, slowly spreading my wings. Is the delivery fine? I'm getting some glitches on my screen. Pardon me for that. If I would appreciate a feedback. Is everything going well for all of us?
Your video is not on for some reason.
Okay, let me just try and see that. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you very much, Jay Munivelu. Thank you. And thank you, Venkat sir, for the feedback. I'll continue. I think you can't. There's no screen share. I'm not sharing any screen.
We can't see you also.
Okay, just give me a minute. But as long as I'm audible and we are having this wonderful conversation, I think that should be good. Maybe some glitch in my device. So, or the bandwidth. So I've put my video off now for some time. Maybe it will adjust itself. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. I'll continue with my narration. I'll continue with the narrative, and we'll connect soon on the face-to-face as well. So this was my journey with the Leadership Challenge. And now you may want to know what the Leadership Challenge is all about. Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner in 1983, they were to represent their institution, which is the Santa Clara University. Both of them are professors of leadership at Santa Clara University. And they were to represent their institution at a leadership, at an academic conference for leadership. Tom Peters, who was ruling the roost as a leadership guru at that time, he was already talking about corporate leadership, how companies and how corporates are viewing leadership, what were the insights, etc. And so our friends Jim and Barry, they decided to focus on individual leadership. Individual leadership, how it looks like, and what does leadership mean for common people, rather than making it an abstract concept. The idea of Jim and Barry was to anchor it for common people so that they start believing in their leading abilities. So the hypothesis or the premise of the entire academic paper that our friends Jim and Barry were presenting was that everybody is leading. Some of us are not leading enough, or rather more of us are not leading enough. So it is basically, it boils down to self-belief, and the next step is preparation. Based strongly on the self-belief, how can we prepare ourselves to embrace leading opportunities? This was the gist, this is the background in 1983. And Jim and Barry started research, very deep research, asking people, common people, including stay-at-home mothers, janitors, teachers, music teacher, entrepreneurs, home entrepreneurs, spiritual leaders, not designated ones, right? Not CEOs and not designated leaders, but common people. And they found a pattern in the behavior of people, of all the people whom they have been able to include in the research. The research is still on, mind you, 40 years plus the research is still on. This program is a solid research-based program. It has a very strong backing of research. And that is what appealed to me. It did not tell me to follow this leader and follow that leader. It told me that it is time for you to stop looking for inspiration outside and start looking within you for the inspiration that you need. You are your most important resource. You are your most important resource. That is the message which was loud and clear ringing in my ears. When they went through these research and they identified the pattern, they put it into a model or a framework. And the framework famously today is known as the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. The choice of words is deliberate. 1, that everyone is already a leader. You need to practice leadership more. That is why the word practice. And the 5 practices is set of behaviors, 5 set of behaviors revolving around values, vision, innovation, recognition, and contribution. I repeat, values, vision, innovation, recognition, and contribution. These are, and if you connect, these 5 is what is needed in everybody's life for exemplary leadership. So 5 practices of exemplary leadership. I am now going to reveal each of these practices or each of the 5 sets of behaviors, and we can together explore that how leadership development, important, definitely very, very important, actually simple, but not the dumb kind of simple, practicable every single day, not just the day of the important board meeting or the important sales meeting or the important project or program launch meeting, not only on those days, but how leadership can be practiced on a daily basis with the people around us. And when I say people, it is not restricted only to people with whom we work, people with whom we live, our families, our friends, our communities, our campuses, our corporates, everything is included. I love this idea of 100% inclusion. Tell me, I mean, is it possible that you are a leader at home, but you are, or, the other way around, you are a leader in office, but not a leader at home? It's not possible. Unless you lead yourself, unless you demonstrate, let me choose words, unless you demonstrate that you're leading yourself well, people will not be inspired to follow you. So, leadership development, treating leadership development as an important tool for self-development, we learn to inspire people around us so that they follow us, and in turn we become the leaders. That's the root of this program. And as I unfold each of the practice, Venkat sir will be taking us with his area of influence, his domain expertise, which is communication skills. And you could see that it's kind of a jugalbandi, that I'm bringing out a leadership behavior, a set of leadership behavior, and how he's corroborating it with a communication skill, or he's sprinkling it with, he's garnishing it with communication skills needed for that particular set of behaviors. Are we going fine so far? Am I too fast? Could I have a quick feedback on the chat, please? I know the visual could be a little, I don't know why the camera ditched me today, but otherwise, are we good? All of us?
Yeah, we are good. That's what I feel.
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you. I'm looking at the chat. Thank you for responding by audio and by chat as well. The 5 practices of exemplary leadership. And the word is exemplary. And these are what is needed to make extraordinary things happen in our lives. Extraordinary things are happening in my life since I've started practicing it. So I'm a regular, consistent practitioner of these 5. The first is model the way. Model the way in other layman language is what we know as walk the talk, or practice what you preach. Walk the talk sounds good. Yes, walk the talk. But my dear friend, what is your talk? What is the talk that you're going to walk on? That requires deep contemplation. What is it that you are going to consistently demonstrate as your values? So model the way is all about clarifying your own values, making it crystal clear to people around you, and it doesn't stop just at that. Jim and Barry, look at how they have made it so easy for us. Each of the 5 practices, they have made 2 commitments attached to it. The first commitment is how to think like a leader for that particular practice. And the second commitment is how to take action as a leader for that particular set of behaviors or for that particular practice. So I'm trained in using this particular words, or the choice of words. It's not how you think like a leader and how you act like a leader. Act like a leader, we may, there is a chance of us understanding it differently. But then how to take action like a leader. Many of us stop at the first. We can think like leaders. There is no doubt about it. We all are leaders sitting here on this call. We know how to think like leaders. And where we probably have this gap is because we fail to take action as leaders. Means the proportion, the thoughts are always more than the actions that we take. And I am greatly influenced and greatly impressed by Asif's, he keeps saying, practice, write down every day what you are doing. What did you do on social media? What calls did you make? How did you improvise on your PPT? What new learning, which new book did you read? Write it every day. That's a great practice that he's introducing to all of us. He discovered, it descended onto him, or he discovered it, and he's he's showing us. So he's modeling the way for us. He's not just saying, he's doing it as well, right? So we have an example here. So this is just one example. Have I known you all personally? Probably I could come up with more. Like I know Nitika, right? Nitika is my soul sister here. I have Sonam here, who's another soul sister here. I have Madhuri, who is my assistant here. They all have certain practices which they have aligned their actions with their thoughts. Certain thoughts they picked up which are very important for them, the values that are very important to them, and they made it sure they identified how to demonstrate that value consistently and how to take action on that value. They have been able to do it. The 200 students whom I am coaching, and these are all teenagers, mind you, such a beautiful age to learn all this. From age 13 to 19, there are about 200 students with me who practice some or the other who set of behaviors on a regular basis, whatever they feel is important for them or whatever we have identified is important for them. So the first is model the way. Clarify your values, identify shared values with people with whom you are with whom you want to practice this leadership. It could be colleagues, it could be family, it could be community. Most important, set an example. Align your actions with the shared values. That will give you a super strong grip over model the way. I invite Venkat sir to give us the sprinkling of communication skills over model the way. Over to Venkat sir.
Thanks, Sandhya. I mean, just to carry forward with what Sandhya said about clarifying values, setting values and clarifying them to your team members, to the society around you. I mean, let's just take one example of a value of a true leader is what I would rather put it, is, for example, say humility. Humility is a value which is basically where a person is humble and he accepts if he has made an error. And if a leader wants to embed this value into his team members, his colleagues, his partners, etc., I mean, first thing that he needs to do is he has to be humble himself. I mean, if he is not humble himself, if he does not accept that he has made an error, then how is he going to walk the talk, as Sandhya said, of asking his team to be humble, asking his team members to accept their mistakes? So the first and foremost thing is there has to be very, very clear value setting by the leaders, and he needs to follow that to the core. For example, if I have to be humble, say I made a mistake in a presentation, I accept the mistake if somebody points it out. Yes, it's a genuine error, because to err as human is what we have all heard about. But it is for us to accept that we have erred. So that's one of the most important qualities which I have seen and observed in a few leaders with who I have worked with. So that's one of the most important values. And it is very, very essential for a true leader to follow what values he or she is setting upon for his team to follow. Back to you, Sandhya.
Thank you so much, Venkat sir. The second practice or the second set of behaviors is inspire a shared vision. So while model the way is all about values, a deep dive into your own value system, identifying how to demonstrate those values consistently. The second set of behavior revolves around having vision. Jim, Barry, Sridhar, throughout my 4 years of training, have drilled it into me that inspire a shared vision is the most challenging, most difficult set of behaviors to practice. And I recognized it when I realized what it really means. Having a vision is not difficult. As I said, we are all, as human beings and as a species, we have the ability to not only, it starts with the ability to daydream, and then it converts, it elevates into the ability to have a vision. So having a vision is about how to think like a leader as far as vision is concerned is to try to look into the future trends, the upcoming trends, and look at them as exciting opportunities, ennobling opportunities, and to take action like a leader. That is the challenge. Jim Barry would always say that visioning is not difficult. Visioning is not the difficult part. The difficult part is to enlist the support of others for that vision by appealing to shared aspirations. Just like we have shared values, we have shared vision and shared aspirations. So if my vision is able to fulfill somebody's aspiration, even to a little extent, how do I communicate that to them? And when I work on my ability to enlist the support of people into the vision by appealing to their aspirations, their dreams, their hopes, that is when I truly grow in their eyes as a leader. So it is not only about envisioning, it is also about enlisting the support of people into the vision. It has to be both. That is a big gap that we all have to cross. Just not stop at envisioning, but take the efforts to actually enlist the support of people around us to reach that vision. Venkat sir, how can communication skills help us do that? What is the role of communication skill to help us develop our ability to inspire shared visions among our teams?
Just to give you an example, I would like to take the vision statement of a large multinational organization, say, for example, Coca-Cola. Okay, the vision statement of Coca-Cola is refresh the world, make a difference. Okay, the role of the leaders in Coca-Cola, for example, is to guide his team as to how they can make a difference in even during the act of refreshing the world. What is very critical here is the communication needs to be taken down to the root level, to each and every employee, whether it is at the plant level, whether it is at the corporate level, ensuring that each one of them contributes to more and more ideas, gets the team to work together, and by eliciting those ideas, how the organization can make a difference and how the employees, the team members could be part of the leadership in evaluating the roles that have been clearly defined for enhancing the vision statement and spreading it across. Over to you, Sandhya.
Yes, that gap, filling of that gap. If you see people or companies who are successful in getting maximum of their people or employees onto the vision, it means they have literally cracked the code. They have cracked the code of thinking like leaders and taking action like leaders at all levels, not just designated people. The third set of behavior is challenge the process. Leaders are needed for change. Change brings in challenges. My sigh was to actually release the collective tension that we all feel as leaders when we have to actually put in or push in for the change that we are wanting to see around us. Challenge the process is to challenge, not just for the sake of challenging, but to challenge the way things are working or the way things continue to make them better for everybody concerned. That is the thought. That is how you think like a leader. And to take action like a leader, you must increase your appetite for risk. You must start taking more initiatives, even if you are not sure about the outcomes. If it works, it definitely is a positive sign for everybody. If it does not work, it still leaves you with learning, provided you are receptive to it, provided you are able to acknowledge and recognize the learning from a failure. So challenge the process. Thinking is about looking for inspiration outside, looking for innovation outside, something that doesn't work in your, something that works in some other industry. How can you absorb the essence of it, probably, to bring about innovation in your industry? So that thinking, and while doing it, when you're taking action towards doing the same, you may slip. Some experiments may or may not work, but still, if you continue doing that, you're seen taking the initiative more often. That's when you are able to have a perfect balance between thinking like a leader and taking action like a leader, as far as challenge the process practice is concerned. Venkat sir, when it comes to challenges, when it comes to doing these experiments and communicating the learnings from failure, what role can communication skills play there?
I mean, the first and most important thing one always needs to understand is there are generally no failures. I mean, what people consider as failures are actually feedbacks, where probably you have challenged the process and then it has not worked the way you would have expected it to have worked. And you say, oh, I have failed in overcoming this challenge. But the moment you say a challenge, that itself is a very positive mindset rather than saying it's a problem. So when you have this sort of a feedback to overcoming a challenge, then that makes it much more easier. So one always needs to have a very positive mindset, knowing fully well that when there is going to be a change, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be risks. But if one approaches these challenges and risks in a very positive frame of mind, these challenges can always be overcome very easily. So what is more important in challenging a process is the positive mindset one needs to carry with him or her, saying that these are just feedbacks if I have failed, and these feedbacks can always be taken in a different sense, frame of mind, positively, and these could easily be overcome, and the process is challenged, and whatever risks have been taken are adequately rewarded. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Venkat sir. And I got the opportunity to challenge the process and identified the glitch. And here I am on screen. I feel good. I feel good that I'm seen. Moving forward, the fourth practice is enable others to act. We always have probably been conditioned that leadership responsibility needs to be fulfilled by your own self. If you share your leadership responsibilities with others, probably, you would be seen as someone who doesn't want to do the work and who is just pushing the work to others. Let me allow you a perspective. Allow me to give you a perspective on this. When leadership responsibility is shared with people, we are actually empowering them. When we let people know that we have complete confidence in their abilities to get the job done, we are putting the spotlight on them, helping them see their own competencies, and giving them that inspiration, that boost in self-determination, and to develop their competency further. Recall, whenever you have been patted on the back, whenever you have been singularly appreciated for the work that you do, or for the ability that you bring to the table, for the value that you add to the team, in the heart of your hearts, your determination to improve your competency has definitely gone up. And you would have told yourself, next time I'll do even better. Oh, I can do this much. Next time I'll do even, I would go a step further, and I will bring more competency to myself, to my performance. Enabling others to act is literally creating more leaders while you are on your own path of leadership. Not just standing behind with folded hands and seeing people pass through you, but actually enabling them to act, enabling them to take actions, inspiring them to take actions, which increases their self-determination, increases their competence, their urge or their aspiration to become more and more competent in their chosen field. The thinking of a leader in enable others to act is to develop the ability to catch people doing right things. I always, imagine that generally, when all across the world, when people cross the red signal, right, they are given a ticket, they are fined. What if we put it upside down? People who follow the discipline of traffic signals and people who follow the lane discipline, what if there was a mechanism to actually reward them instead of catching people who are doing stuff which is not prescribed? If we start rewarding people with what with rewarding people for the good that they are doing, how much change that could bring, what kind of changes that could bring in the society. I keep thinking. That's what I keep thinking. But if I have to really take action here, then also not only having the eye or developing the mindset to catch people doing the right things, actually going and letting them know that. Actually telling them that, on that project, the way you really put down those facts and the way you presented them, that was really good. It really saved the day for us. When you are telling people about their so whenever you are asked for feedback, most of us are asked for feedback, and we generally don't make the best use of that opportunity. When people ask us for feedback, remember, they are opening their vulnerability to us, and we must respect their vulnerability, not by saying only good things, not by being only nice to them, but be committed to them. I have heard about the sandwich model from Venkat sir only. Venkat sir, could you put a bit of a light, throw a bit of light on the sandwich model of appreciation?
See, I mean, I was also a Toastmaster, and the first thing that we were inducted into for effective communication is, as you said, feedback. How does one give a feedback? Now, for example, you've had a session with Sandhya today, and I'm sure she's going to ask for a feedback at the end of the session. The best way is what we have learned, the sandwich model is give the positives at the start, then give a brief of the feedbacks or the shortcomings which you feel were very clear in the way Sandhya presented, and then finish it off with feedbacks on how those shortcomings could be overcome. What this enables is that the participant also shares in the whole presentation of the deliverer, as well as the deliverer also gets to know what his or her weaknesses are, what he or she could do to overcome them. And this way, both parties support each other and encourage each other in furthering their processes. So this is what we call the sandwich model: the good feedback, a feedback on the shortcomings, and then steps on to how to overcome the shortcomings to become a better presenter the next time. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Venkat sir. So enable others to act was our fourth practice. The fifth and the last practice, my most favorite, is encourage the heart. How vulnerability and being sensitive can actually be leveraged to leave behind a leadership legacy. How being sensitive, being vulnerable, people are encouraged to open themselves and actually start operating from a field or from a point of self-assurance and self-belief. Encouraging the heart is giving meaningful recognition to the work people do. How is it different from enable others to act? Enable others to act is to provide those opportunities to people. Encourage the heart when you identify how a person likes to be recognized. Now imagine in your team, there are, there is a person who is kind of introvert in nature, and there is a person who is kind of extrovert in nature. when the team performs well and it is time to recognize them, instead of giving the same kind of things to put it to, for both of them, instead of that, if the one who is an introvert, if you recognize the person in the way that person likes to be recognized, and same goes for the person who is who is an extrovert. If you throw a party for the introvert person and suddenly put the flashlight on that person and ask him to really be comfortable, that's going to be a tough call for that. That's going to be very challenging. And on the other hand, if the extrovert receives a handwritten note, he will say that, yeah, I appreciate it, but then a party would have been great. So we will have to work while thinking as leaders on how a person likes to be recognized. And the action is, we need to identify people, how they like to be recognized, and recognize them when we see them working towards our shared vision, shared values, when they demonstrate alignment with the team. That is the opportunity, not just milestones. Please understand, milestones will be a few and far probably in the journey. But then there are everyday opportunities. When you see someone who is demonstrating in alignment with the team's values and vision, those are the small opportunities during normal days to encourage the heart, to practice encourage the heart. Venkat sir, encourage the heart. What could be a few tips from the communication angle?
This is something, Sandhya, which is very dear to me, to my heart. And I generally would have used a different term here. Instead of saying encourage the heart, I would have said empathy. I mean, what I would, as a corporate employee for a few years, I've always felt that employees or team members are the backbone of an organization. And we've also used some of the terms like people are our assets and so on. I mean, rewards and recognition by way of monetary benefits, etc. Yes, they do have a lot of value. But if you take today's current challenging times, which we are all going through, a pandemic, for example, I mean, how do you encourage people to perform, considering that there has been these instances of people working from home, people going through difficult times, balancing their work, personal and family life? The best way that you could do is encourage the heart, as you say, but I would say more being empathetic towards people. When they have challenges, support them in the best manner possible by being in touch with them regularly, communicate with them, give them a feeling of that they're being cared to by the organization or by the leaders. This way, what would happen is you are in turn making the employee feel a part of the team. And what he would do is, he would actually, I'd go back to what we started off with the first practice, is he would start modeling the way. He has been brought into the situation where his team leader has been empathetic towards him. What would then happen is this would create a chain of him being empathetic towards his other team members. So this, I feel, is the best way of very effective team management, communication, and a leadership skill, which I think is present in everybody, but it's just that it doesn't come out. All of us feel that, I mean, why do I need to take the step to support this person? There are others, like, I mean, some organizations would say employing empathy towards the employment. They would say it's more an HR's role. No, it's definitely not an HR's role. It is definitely not only a business leader's role. It is the immediate leader's role. And if somebody has done an exceptionally good job, I mean, put an arm around him, give him a hug, congratulate him on the efforts, and you can see the results that he would strive to perform better. Yes, people are monetarily rewarded. That's one side of it. But the human relationship, the employee empathy, and give them the experience of being part of the team. This is what I feel is the best way to communicate and derive the best out of his team members. Back to you.
Absolutely, Venkat sir. In fact, Jim Kouzes, Barry Posner, and Sridhar Sampath, during my 4 years of training, just like they kept reminding me that why inspired a shared vision is a very difficult set of behaviors to practice. They also gave a great emphasis on the fact that encourage the heart is the easiest but least practiced set of behaviors. And they tried to appeal to me, who is taking this vision forward, who's taking the philosophy of the the leadership challenge forward. They tried to appeal to me, and they say that if you are able to impact a change in this part, where leaders or where encourage the heart becomes a kind of mainstream leadership topic, heart-centered leadership, if that could happen, they gave me a dream, they gave me a vision of my own to follow. And friends, that is what I am aiming to do. That is where perhaps I'm seeking and I'm appealing to all of you to let us support in this. Let us support this whole idea that, especially since we have gone through the pandemic, we have realized the importance of encouraging each other. Probably it would, in my diary, the pandemic would go down. I would offer a gratitude to the pandemic that people are at least open and aware about how encouraging the heart is important. But just thinking will not help. We need to take action. And I took that action, and I actually took the courageous step and said that let me spread the leadership challenge to even grown-ups, beyond teenagers. And about 6 weeks ago, we launched, drum roll and trumpets, we launched the GROW program. So that is what the suspense Venkat sir has been keeping. The appeal is to grow with GROW, GROW. Get ready for opportunities at work. I repeat, get ready for opportunities at work is what GROW is all about. We all, the pandemic is hopefully, thankfully behind us. We are stepping out of our homes. We need to step out in our minds as well. We need to identify opportunities around us, and we need to go there with self-belief, and we need to go there with preparation. Self-belief and preparation, if you're able to see my screen, self-belief and preparation is the leader in you. And that is why GROW. So the GROW leadership program, I appealed to a few people, and 10 amazing women across the world took up the opportunity. They said that we would like to support what you have in mind. It appeals to us. It's a 12-week program, 90 days, 90 to 100 days program. And the format is very interesting. Every day there are video lessons of not more than 1 minute duration. And weekly there are group sessions live with the facilitator, yours truly. And every week we are looking at what work is being done in the app and how it is getting applied in daily life, what kind of challenges are being met. It is discussed openly within the group, and there's a lot of peer and social learning that happens. I thought this would be a good opportunity for us. And Venkat sir, with your permission, we have Sonam Phillips here with us, who is one of those 10 amazing women. And by the way, it is a global group right from the first batch. So we have women from US, India, Bahrain, we have women from South Africa. Sonam Phillips, also known as Jeet, she is from Bahrain. She has already, sorry, I didn't wait for Venkat sir's affirmation. Venkat sir, do I have
Go ahead. We would all love to hear from Sonam.
So Sonam has built a huge jewelry business. She exited that business, she sold that business, and currently she's helping startups. She's a startup specialist, and she's operating Her geography currently is Bahrain, but then this woman has her aura spread all across the world. So may I request Sonam to please come on screen?
Hi,
And
Sandhya.
hello.
So they're always overly gracious, overly generous with your compliments. Thank you.
Well, I'm a practitioner of encourage the heart, you see.
Yes, definitely. You truly are in the essence. So good morning, everyone. And almost noon in India. It's only the start of the day, 9:30 here. Um, so we've been a part of this Grow program, and yes, being a business person, and yes, being a very emotional person myself, I saw the benefits from the word go, but I had to be convinced. I'll be really, really honest, because it's a lot of time commitment, energy commitment, and yes, the finances do matter. They matter for everyone that's present here. Um, but that was easily overcome when Sandhya told me exactly what the program is about. The wonderful part, I won't take too long. I can chat for hours on end, but I'm not going to do that to everybody here today. I think the reason I found benefit in the program once I joined it, because I'm not one of those that would be ashamed to walk out if I thought it was not enough value. I would walk out with my head held high and say, I'm sorry, but this is not worth my commitment. The reason I stayed and I try to do the activities that are suggested every single day is because I think this is a program for every single person, honestly. I think this is a program for business people. Myself being an entrepreneur, having built a multi-million dollar business, having sold it, moving on to different ventures and trying different fields, I know the struggles. I knew the time commitment. I knew the time constraints, and I knew the challenges. Also, being a mom, I know how hard it was to balance two sets of lives, a professional front and a personal front. When I see it spread over everything, I think the best part I took away, or I'm taking away and do take away over the weeks, is, like I said, this is a program for entrepreneurs because it delves really deep into you and pulls out all of your weaknesses and your strengths. And the reason I say both is because if you don't know your weakness, you're being played by someone else. And once you do know how to recognize that, you know how to work on it. Cynthia, of course, is a very different person when it's an intimate setting and when it's within the group. Her delivery, her support, her love, her tough love, all appreciated because they're all needed at the right time, and she knows exactly when to deliver each one. This is a program for managers or those that aspire to be managers because, yes, you've worked at the bottom of the ladder, but you're taking or trying to take a step up and don't know where you might not be doing as perfectly as you'd like to. Perfection, again, very varied word because you look at it differently than the outside world expecting different things from you. But what Sandhya brings in is that balance of where you're doing it and where you need appreciation, where you think you can work without it because you know you're doing a good job. I think this is a program for homemakers, whether you've chosen to have kids or not, because if you're a homemaker, you already have an empire to lead. And it's a program for single individuals, whether you're just starting off at university or you've just graduated or you're just getting into the university of life. Because again, the values are pretty much the same as where are your strengths and how do you bring them out into the real world so they benefit you. So that I am so happy to be sharing space with you every week. The way she's designed the program is wonderful. We do the work on our own and we get together every week. She comes in and she supports us. She pushes us. She intrigues us to think differently. And like she said, peer support. We get to learn from each other. So Sandhya, thank you. Really enjoying the program, growing. It's helping me analyze myself a little bit better and bring it out to everybody around me. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Sonam, for giving us your time. I know it's the start of the day and it's a working day in Bahrain, but still you said that you would like to do this, and I'm really grateful for the graciousness with which you support the work that is being done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandhya. I support your energy truly. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Venkat sir, we can open the floor for questions.
Yeah. First of all, let me thank Sonam for taking time off and giving us the feedback about what and how Grow is helping her grow. Thank you so much for that, Sonam.
Thank you, Venkatji.
And the floor is open for any questions, please, and we would be more than happy to answer them.
Hello, this is Bharat here. So my question would be like like you said, I really like that empathy, because the connecting the art, right? We have to go with that one attribute, basically the attitude or the character. But the thing is, it will be very challenging to practice. At the same time, so it will also make the others think that we are having the very weak heart, or we are very soft spoken person. That is the thing that would be the challenging, because aggressiveness will not be there when we want to show somebody the care or the empathy. We have to leave aside this aggressiveness, but at the same time we should also be demanding. So how to connect these two things when we are practicing that particular trait?
So Venkat sir, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bharat, you brought out the exact reason why encourage the heart is not practiced. It's very easy to practice, but it is not practiced as much. And you must have heard a word which Sonam used, tough love. And the greatest example that I always use is the kind knife of a surgeon. The surgeon is cutting you up. But what is the intention? He's literally cutting you up with the knife. But his intention is to heal you, right? And if you feel that you will be seen as someone who is vulnerable and sensitive and therefore probably not tough enough to handle situations, I think if you just reflect a bit and look around people, look around and see the people who are there with whom you are spending or investing a lot of time on an average. The ones who are the soft and the ones who are, they show the toughest, they are the most resilient beings. Look at the women folk, right? Sensitive, soft, they bring in that softness in our life. But then throw them into a situation, and how the women in our lives actually stand tall to the occasion. When there's a crisis in the family, if it's a homemaker, when there's a crisis in the team, when she's a team leader, when she's a boss, when she's handling her own venture. So Bharatji, there are 6 behaviors within encourage the heart. Encourage the heart could be an umbrella, it could be a door. Imagine it to be a door. And when you open encourage the heart and you enter inside, there are 6 techniques that you get to learn on how to exactly encourage the heart in such a way that your vulnerability is utilized as a strength and not otherwise. The leadership challenge, I love it because it is a game of possibilities. It is possible to be kind-hearted and yet be effective to lead a team. It is possible to achieve both. I hope I have answered your question, Bharat.
Yeah, right. I understood. What basically is to just empower the people, and we have to see that we have to empower the people and also see how well we are recognizing them and rewarding them and making them more empowered.
Exactly. You caught it all. You caught it all.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome, Bharat. Thank you for asking a question. Anybody else? I know we are 4 minutes overshot, but we need a nice group picture also, and Venkat sir would also have his closing. Yes, Akanksha. Yes. I see
Okay.
you.
I actually wanted to just add a little bit to what you were saying, because I have been in leadership roles at corporates previously, and I've had situations where I have been leading a team, and let's say maybe another woman has also been leading a team. However, there has been some kind of, let's say, friction, and a person has tried to kind of, override or overrule me and communicate with my team in a manner such that they start to feel a little uncomfortable with me. At a time like that, I just stayed focused on my goals. I did not worry or bother about the other person and what that person may be doing or how they may be messing around with my team from the heart or the head. Because for me, I was very clear. I had a goal. My team had to support me in that, and I had to support them. When they saw me supporting them no matter what, they started working along with me without being swayed by the other person. So even that is a challenge. So I'm just adding to what you were saying. And of course, also simply asking a question, that is that the right way of dealing with and managing those kind of situations when you're a leader? Because you will have situations like that.
So Akanksha, what you did is you demonstrated very strongly, model the way. You not only communicated, you not only had a clarity about your own values, but you also demonstrated consistently the values that you respect and you hold on to yourself, irrespective of what the situation is. When your team members saw this consistent demonstration of model the way, that was the magic which helped them to remain with you in spite of what was happening around. So what happens is these 5 set of behaviors, we all have it. Some of us have something which is stronger, Some of us operate from encourage the heart. Some of us will operate from model the way. Some of us may have to, in a day, we may have to choose 1 or 2 set of behaviors. But we'll be able to do it. 30 behaviors. My dear friends, 30 behaviors in the GROW program we master over 100 days, which we are able to utilize at some place or the other, at some point of time or the other. And it really brings back, a lot of collective wisdom also. Because then you start understanding people around you with more depth. So thank you very much, Akanksha, for sharing that. And it gave me an opportunity to help the audience identify that this is a true example of model the way. Thank you so much, Akanksha.
Any more questions? I think since we do not seem to have any more questions, at the outset, let me first of all thank Sandhya for facilitating this session. I think all of us will probably have now understood that we have the 5 practices within us, but then we haven't tapped into those and then looked at inheriting those values, those practices into us. I think Akanksha missed out the first early part of it, which is why she probably missed out the model the way practice.
Ooh.
So, I mean, we've had these wonderful session today and some interesting questions and great feedback from Sonam. Thank you so much for taking your time, Sonam. And thank you all for joining us today at the webinar. And I think we definitely look forward to a feedback from each one of you. We would like to understand how it has been and what learnings you have taken and how we could look at possibly looking at doing some more sessions, improving ourselves, as well as go ahead and mentor people, make them grow into leaders for the future, and then make this world more empowered is what I would rather love to say. Thank you all once again, and you all have a great day. And once again, a happy Women's Day to each and every one of you. I mean, I've included men as well. As I said at the beginning, is behind every successful man, there is a woman. Thank you all. Thank
Venkat
you once
sir,
again.
Venkat sir, with your permission, I would like to also acknowledge Madhuri, who is our assistant at Exceedables. Madhuri, if you could come on screen, please. The quiet person who would, do all the work and work under pressure, because it's not easy to, handle live sessions and stuff. And for taking all your efforts, Madhuri, I would like to thank you very much. So, and the kind of dedication and devotion that Madhuri has. And she says that I'm helping people, in my own small way. That's what she believes in. I just want to help her expand that feeling. So thank you, Madhuri. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for Venkat sir and Sandhya ma'am for giving me this opportunity.
Madhuri, can we see you so that it brings us
some,
more connect?
Yes, yeah.
Are we able to see her?
Yes, ma'am. Some technical difficulties there.
Okay, no problem, there you are.
And Sandhya, what Madhuri has done is basically the leadership practice number 4 of yours. You have enabled others to act. So just asked her to act, and that she has done it brilliantly, is what I would like to say. Thank you so much, Madhuri. Thank you for all your help and support.
She's brilliant. And we will be opening up the WhatsApp group for your feedback. We are currently made it admin only. It will go back to admin only tomorrow. Until then, all of you have your opportunity to share feedback with us. Please help us understand how we can improve this and how we can, in Venkat sir's, I'm borrowing Venkat sir's words, on how we can empower the world, make it a better place. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to guide you today.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. And you all have a great day again. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.